Eric Paul's in here with 9 to 5 Sports. Going to be getting into the sleepers and the shoulder shrug plays here for the PGA Championship. So for those of you guys that don't know, a sleeper is going to be categorized as someone that is not a player that you want to go out of your way to play, but does have a lot of upside. There's someone that if you end up on them as like the last player into your build, you feel pretty good about it. You know, you're probably going to be playing this player in about 10% of your builds. Whereas a shoulder shrug play is a guy that, you know, you don't really want to go out of your way to end up on them, but if you end up on them as like the fifth or sixth player into your build, you're not going to, you know, completely change your lineup process. There's someone that, you know, just allows you to complete your build and, you know, shrug your shoulders and move on. So the first player that we're going to start off with as a sleeper pick is actually going to be defending champ here, Collin Morikawa. Okay, not here specifically, not Rory, but defending champ of the PGA Championship is going to be Collin Morikawa. And I think he's more of a sleeper because I'm not seeing him really get talked up that much. And just overall, he does still rank out top 10 in the model this week, guys. So we're getting a guy that's not getting really talked up. Technically, the defending champ. It is kind of crazy to me that we can get this good of a pick at this low of a price point. I absolutely really like Collin Morikawa this week. We look at the recent form, 18th at the Masters, and then 7th at the RBC Heritage. So his recent form has been getting better as well. Collin Morikawa this week does make a lot of sense as a pick that could potentially go out and win again this week to defend his title. Then the next one is going to be the player that was a core play for me last week. It's going to be Matt Fitzpatrick. And the worry with last week is that a player could be overlooking the week pretty much. You know, looking ahead to the PGA Championship. I'm not exactly saying that's what happened with Matt Fitzpatrick last week, but you know, it definitely could have. He's a guy that is a top 5 win player in the field. So he does only rank out top 40 in the model, but if we factor in the fact that this guy always tends to play well in tougher tournaments, in tougher conditions, I like him a little bit more. He's a guy that was a core play for me last week. Does do well, kind of comp course history wise, a little bit there. But what we're really hanging our hat on is that strong recent form that he had been in prior to that miscut. So Matt Fitzpatrick, I also do really like as a pick this week. Then we go down a little bit lower. We're going to be looking at Brian Harman. I don't get why he's not getting talked up more. We look at recent form rank. He's the best in recent form rank. His average finish is 10th. Okay, that has been spectacular. Let's look at it. 3rd at the Players, 5th at the Dell Match Play, 12th at the Masters, 13th at the RBC Heritage, and 18th at the Wells Fargo Championship. The only reason why people might not like Brian Harman, I guess, is because it's Brian Harman. I don't really get it. You know, ranks on top 14 in the model, and on top of that, he's a top 20 win player in the field as well. You know, all things are pointing to Brian Harman being a sneaky good pick this week. I actually don't mind him as an outright bet as well. Then another one, you know, I don't expect that much from him, but he's a guy that could put it together and get a top 10 finish. You know, that's going to be Jason Kokrak, ranking top 23 in the model. Does really well stat fit wise, top 10 there, and recent form wise, top 12 there. We can see his average finish is 28th. We can see the recent form there, you know, pretty good there. That's what we like to see. So 9 straight make cuts in a row there for Jason Kokrak. To me, he's going to be a standout play, a guy that, you know, you can definitely put in about 10% of your GPP builds and feel good about his upside. Not something you want to play in cash or anything like that, but an upside play. Now moving into the shoulder shrug plays, and I bet those people that have seen this video a few times already knew that I was going to have Patrick Reed listed as a shoulder shrug play. That's exactly what he is again this week. He's never overpriced and he's never underpriced. He's always right where he should be. So when you're like closing out your build, and he's the guy there, you know, that number's there for you salary wise. I'm fine with it. Right out top 20 in the model, typically plays better on these tougher conditions. He's a guy that makes a ton of sense. So Patrick Reed, I actually do really like as well as a shoulder shrug play. Not exactly someone you want to go out your way to play. Then a guy that was a fade to me, he was the make or break point really last week, was Will Taurus. He ended up making birdie on 18. So, you know, it's a correct fade there because I thought he was a little bit too risky to be, you know, like a cash play, a guy that you should be, you know, making a core play. It's a bold fade, but, you know, it did end up being the right call there. He did play well on the weekend, which actually led to a nice little top 9 showdown finish for me. Because that's just kind of, you know, how you got to do it. You got to target those players where, you know, you might worry about them making the cut, but once they do make the cut, you know, the sky's the limit. And that's kind of what happened with Will Zalatoris last week. So it was nice to see him kind of battle through that bad golf stretch, if you will. And I think he's going to be a good quality sleeper pick this week, or shoulder shrug pick this week, where, you know, I wouldn't exactly say you want to go out of your way to play him, especially in that price point range where it's not a dead price point range this week, but it kind of is just due to the quality of high end picks on the high tier that have a great chance to win, then the lower end picks that are both safe and have a great chance to top 10. Where this 8K range really is just a little bit of mix and matching that together. But Will Zalatoris does look like a great pick this week. Ranks out top 50 in the model. Don't mind him as a pick if you guys end up on him. And then we're going to look at two players that I really do like. And to be honest with you, I have them both listed as high exposure plays for me this week. One is going to be Paul Casey, and then the other one is going to be, I'll pull him up here right now, Louis Oosthuizen. So these guys are both going to be good win players as well. I would say they're more shoulder shrug plays for me. That was kind of the problem this week, is that I really can only come up with like 2 solid shoulder shrug plays because the field is that loaded, guys. Paul Casey and Louis Oosthuizen made this list though because they're just not sexy picks pretty much. No one's trying to go out of their way to play them, but they just know that they should. So that's kind of why I ended up on them as shoulder shrug picks. But yeah, they're going to be the correct picks for you. Top 25 in the model for Louis Oosthuizen, Paul Casey, top 30 in the model. Both play better in windy conditions. Both tend to play better in these type of majors as well. So both guys that I think you should be ending up on this week. But that's all I have for you guys for the sleepers and the shoulder shrug picks. Actually, this is going to be the last video that I put out there for this week. So hopefully you guys enjoyed all the 9 to 5 content. Have all those tools out there for you guys to use to be able to make a profit. You know, it's a one-stop shop for PGA DFS now. It's all good stuff. Got a cheat sheet, player cheat sheet, tournament write-up, PGA lineup builder, course and data, tournament overview sheet, custom models page, specialist page, ownership page, and then the leaderboard and showdown. I do want to point out that leaderboard and showdown, we did hit another winner as well with that. 9 out of 10 weeks now. And the showdowns, we just keep dominating that. So if you guys want to get those tools, head over to 9fivesports.com. All right, let's have a good week this weekend. As always, let's keep cashing.